Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the bolt pistol from this guy. I'm gonna put that plasma pistol there, but I'm not gonna cut that hand off, and we're not gonna cut off this on the bottom or any of that. So what I do is I cut straight through the gun with my clippers. Now I make sure that I'm lined up so I'm not cutting through the hand. So I have to get it on the camera. I'm not used to doing this on camera. So yeah, you want to make sure you're lined up. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll try to get it. But try to keep a little distance because the clippers tend to go down a little bit. So if you can see kind of that. So just make sure you're lined up. Now I'm going to go all the way back like this. I'm going to make sure I don't hit this pauldron on this guy. And then just like that. And now you can see there is a clean cut right above the hand. Now where I want to be careful is right there where it's connected to the shoulder pad, because this is actually a molded model. So I need to cut through this with my knife. Bingo. Now that shoulder pad is nice and sharp, and this can come right off. Now don't worry about that because that'll be okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So now all I've got to do is remove this piece right here. Sorry, let me get a better view for you. So you want to get it right up next to it like last time, but just a little off. And then boom. So now you have a clean cut here, just like that. So now you want to take your knife, you're going to clean up right here a little bit. Just remove that little bit of excess. All right, so now your hand is clear. Move these pieces out of the way, those are junk. You can use this for basing broken guns or something, I usually do. So now with this, it's kind of the same concept, except now we're cutting the hand away. So with this, you want to try and keep as much of, let's see if it'll focus, that trigger right there, see that? There's like a casing. You want to try to keep as much of that as you can. Obviously, you're not going to keep all of it, but you just want to get close. I get like right up on the hand because then I can just trim stuff away with my knife afterward. But just go ahead and clip right through it like that. Now what you can do is take your knife, obviously be careful, and you want to go straight up from this right here. And obviously be careful because, you know, you're not supposed to cut towards yourself, but if you know what you're doing with this, you won't cut through the plastic all the way. I'm applying very little pressure. I'm kind of just wiggling it, you know, a little bit. This is the most tedious part, but you want this to be clean, and the clippers generally won't get flush unless you do it this way. And yeah, you could use a little saw, but with a saw, it'll go right through a lot quicker, and you might hit your finger with it, so just take your time and be very careful. There we go. And then just trim away this excess from the hand. It doesn't have to be perfect because the other part, once you glue it on with the plastic glue, is going to melt it all together and it won't look gaudy at all or anything like that. All right. Almost done with the cleanup. All right. So now you want to get a file. You just want to go smooth with that. And then round that off a little, make it look a bit more natural. Don't go too much, obviously. You don't want to completely fuck your plastic up. And then right here, carefully, because I don't want to hit any of my other details, just going to file this down a little bit. Just make sure it's all nice and flat. This is a steel file, so it's going to get that plastic flat pretty quick. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now all you do is dry fit, and it's going to look pretty good. Yeah. Once this is all primed and painted and everything, you know, this is one troop. That little bit in there that might be noticeable won't matter at all. And even so, it's, you know, if there's this little bit of flash left after you dry fit it, you can just trim it away. Just go with the shape of the model. Boom. Now it's super not noticeable. Haha. All right. So now, plastic glue is important. You want this. I love this stuff. You just got to be careful with it. You got to know how to use it. A lot of people are like, oh, it fucks your shit up. No, it doesn't. All right. So, you want to get the tiniest amount right there. And then a tiny amount in here on this part. Just the smallest bit. Both parts, if both parts are glued, then it'll be a better fit. So then let me make sure I'm on camera for this especially. So you just fit them together and then hold it for a sec, because you can straighten it out once it kind of starts bonding. So just make sure that it's straight with his hand so it's not, you know, crooked. Make sure you like the placement. Kind of hold it there if it doesn't want to go. This stuff can be stubborn. You just don't want to like mess with it too much, because then it won't hold. It'll just fall off. And see, it's being stubborn. It'll kind of come to a natural rest at some point, but yeah. So now, right here, you can kind of see where the other part of the gun was. So you want to make sure those are kind of straight and lined up so it doesn't look weird. I don't know if you, there we go, it might be a little bit better. Sorry, I was looking at the model, not the camera. I'm not a professional video maker by any means. Yeah, just make sure those parts are as straight as they can be. And then, yeah, there you go. He has a plasma pistol now. So you just let that dry, and once it's fully dry, don't mess with it, obviously. But once it's fully dry, then your conversion will be set. And then he'll be ready for an eternity of war. But yeah, it's a really easy thing. I've done it to a few other models. Let me set him down gently. Let me grab this guy real quick. I had to do a repair on him recently because one of his tendrils decided to come off, but let me get him over the... There we go. So this plasma pistol I put on my Warpsmith. And it's the same situation. I just trimmed around it. I just had to be really careful. But it looks good on both sides. I just have to finish painting him. But yeah, that's how you do that. And it just takes a little bit of time, just a little bit of know-how, but like honestly, doesn't even really take a lot of know-how. Like I said, it's really easy. Yeah. So I hope that helps you with everything.